We live, bro.
Yeah, I know it was taking a while. We had some technical difficulties, but here go the drop.
Be careful. You might learn something. Let's go. You are now tuned in to the Factual Opinions Podcast with your host, I Am Pharaoh. Straight facts.
Welcome back, World Factual Opinions Podcast. This is season 4, episode 18. Sorry for the delay. It is called No Room for Error for a number of reasons. Just like our beloved Bengals, who have no room for error the rest of the season, I can attest to my brothers here, both Big John and Nate. Seem like we all have no room for error right now in life. So we are trying to lock in and do things right first take. It's your humble and gracious host, I Am Pharaoh, checking in with the Brown Bruce Wayne, Big John.
Yes, sir.
Will West, the best Nate,
You know it.
complete with the do-rag.
It's moving, man. I'm over here moving, man. I ain't got time to focus on my head right now.
Lisa's tied up, and you ain't got.
Oh yeah. I ain't got the flap out, bro. I ain't on my John Wayne mess today, so I'm good today.
Well, fellas, we have a lot to talk about today as usual, but we're going to start off on a somber but happy note, actually, because I want to pay tribute to what seems to be a cluster of individuals from the sports and entertainment world that seem to just be checking out left and right as of late. So, um, guys that maybe were a little bit before our era, but are directly responsible for some of the opportunities that we all have now. So I want to give a shout out to the families of the great Tito Jackson, Michael Jackson's older brother, and part of the fabulous Jackson 5. I want to give a shout out to John Amos. Kind of mad his family hid the fact that he had passed away. What do you say? Hey, they've got the Big Mac. We've got the Big Mick.
Baby, he got his own money. He got his own money.
Only you really did it this time.
He got his own money.
Get the hell out of here before I bust that camera. John Amos, Tito Jackson, the great James Earl Jones. You can't get any bigger than Mufasa and Darth Vader, or King Jaffe, but I could go on. The list goes on forever. Of course, here in Cincinnati, we're all feeling it in the sports world. The Major League Baseball all-time hit king himself, Pete Rose, checked out yesterday. 83
Charlie
years.
Hustle, right?
Charlie Hustle.
Man.
West High's own.
Cincinnati's own. See, that's why we feel it,
Right.
because he's one of us, man, to the
Right.
core. Dikembe Mutombo, one of the greatest basketball players to ever lace him up. Former Georgetown Hoya. Mutombo played for a lot of teams, but most people remember him for his time with the Denver Nuggets. After that, who am I messing? Atlanta Hawks, and brief time with the Philadelphia 76ers and Allen Iverson. Yeah, man, just all at once. Frankie Beverly, passed, to
Not Frankie, not like my mama, not Frankie.
it was a lot. So, well, first of all, I want to give Tito his just due, because there are a lot of jokes about Tito for the majority of his life. But listen here, if it wasn't for Tito Jackson messing with Joe's guitar, we might not know the Jackson 5 as it is today, or Michael Jackson become the superstar that he did.
Facts.
That is a fact.
So you got to give Tito his guitar credit. Nate, what did Dikembe Mutombo mean to you as a hooper growing up?
I ain't even gonna hold you. A lot of people don't know. When I was in 4th grade, I was a big man. So the first person I seen playing big man was Dikembe Mutombo. So my ultimate goal, me playing big man, I'm trying to send everything down the street. So by him and the wagging of the finger and not in my house and all those quotes is just like that's just like he is one of the top tier centers of all time due to the fact he was like I think he was like second or third in blocks all
Man,
time.
fly in the eye of Matumbo.
Yeah. So he was a big influence and even trying to help AI get that championship. He did impact that finals due to the fact that guards wasn't attacking the rim. The only person that was attacking the rim was Shaq, and he was roughing him up to get
Oh,
there.
I think Matumbo had a really good finals in
Yeah,
2001.
he did for
He just
sure.
happened to be going against Prime Shaq. So,
Mm-hmm. You going against Shaq
Right.
Fu? Ain't too much fighting going on.
and
So
Prime Kobe. Let's not
yeah,
forget
not
that.
forget that
So,
he did get a key block on Kobe in that finals though.
yeah, man. But no, that one was shocking because it was the same day as
Mm-hmm.
Pete Rose.
Yeah.
And a lot of us here are biased when it comes to Charlie Hustle, and rightfully so. Like I said, he's one of us. So, people won't understand the connection that even us that came after his career necessarily still had for this guy. Um, I just hope that he gets in Cooperstown now. I mean, I won't say it defeats the purpose because he belongs in there either way, but just after the fact when he's not here to see it, and the fact now that we're able to get on MGM and FanDuel and all this crap now, and it's actually part with the league. It's like, okay,
They owe that man an apology.
And they definitely do, Nate. And I'm not trying to be that guy because he deserved to be in there. But if I was his family, I'd be pissed. I don't know how I would feel. Like I would put him in there because that's his rightful place. But it's like, why now?
Would you do the TO? If you were his family, would you celebrate your own way and not go to Cooperstown?
I probably would do that because like to disrespect that man for so long, like even when they was interviewing ALT, on football wise, it's not about what I did off the field; it's about what I did on the field.
On the field, yep.
And him gambling or not, betting or not, you could not take away the stats. You could not take away the championships. You could not take away the hard work that he put in. His nickname was literally Charlie Hustle. You could not take away anything that man did on the field.
He ran over a catcher in an all-star game because of his competitiveness and actually broke that man's collarbone and several other things. Basically ended his career. Like nobody played as hard as Charlie Hustle. So if he did bet, I know he never, like he said, you can't compare me to Shoeless Joe Jackson. He said, I bet on my team to win.
Right. and the messed up thing about it is he leaves the Big Red Machine being the captain and wins one with the Philadelphia Phillies. You cannot take away nothing this man has done at all.
I think the biggest thing that bothers me, that record will never be touched. Ever. I don't think it'll ever be touched.
Ain't that a good thing though?
It's an amazing thing, but for him not to be in the hall and he has an untouched record that's not even been scathed is crazy to me that he's not in the hall. I think the closest person was it
Tony Gwynn?
Tony Gwynn was it? Yeah, that was it.
Tony Gwynn, Ichiro, but that's because they had to add his stats from what he did over
in Japan.
Yeah, and it's crazy because, and I'm not giving Charlie Hustle his flowers, but Tony Gwynn was ridiculous. You look at some of the stats.
Tony Gwynn was ridiculous,
and for him to be in the same vicinity as Pete Rose, bro, it's just it's crazy.
Yeah, I just have a problem with the way things unfolded. Honestly, man, like I just you wish maybe that he admitted this earlier in life. And maybe we'd be at a different juncture right now because he did for the longest deny it. We can't, bypass that. But with all the evidence they have and they know what happened, like I said, you showed me one bet slip where Pete Rose, even his manager, did something to try to make his team lose. Everything he did was to try to make them win.
Yep.
Can't turn that competitive juice off the way he is. So Big hole here in Cincinnati sports, but I'm sure the Reds and everybody else are going to do.
Is he in the Reds Hall of Fame?
Yes, he is.
I was about to say, oh my gosh.
Yep. And number 14 is retired. When you go down to the ballpark, you can see it down there with Barry Larkin and the rest of them, and all the other greats, Frank Robinson, Chris Sable, all the, and that's the thing. So that's a great segue. The Reds fired manager David Bell with 5 games left in the season.
Didn't they just give him an extension?
They did last year.
That's crazy.
But it was the right move. I never like calling for anybody's job, but I'm tired of the excuses. Cincinnati Reds are America's first professional baseball team. They are the 5-time World Series champions. Their Hall of Fame, I could argue, stacks up with Cooperstown itself when you start talking about all the legendary Reds that have played there. I don't want to hear it's a small market or any of this other stuff. You got the Milwaukee Brewers that are competing, winning games. Hell, the Pittsburgh Pirates are better than we are now. Just win. And the thing is, they do have some good young talent out there.
Yeah.
From Hunter Green and, Ellie Dela Cruz. I don't know what's going on with Jonathan India, whether he's going to be, back. But they have a lot of young people out there. I think it just takes a manager that's a little bit more fiery and not as laissez-faire as David Bell was.
Uncle Barry, go get the job. Uncle Barry, go get the job.
I don't know.
That guy, but they shouldn't have got rid of Dusty. But that's fine.
Well, we know that, but Dusty got his ring now, so that's poetic justice in itself.
Mm-hmm.
I want Barry. I don't know if it's the right time for Barry. I'm gonna throw a name out there, and then we'll move on to the baseball talk. Man, go get Ozzie again, man.
I wouldn't.
You say Ozzie?
Ozzie or Joe Girardi would be a nice.
Where's Ozzie at now?
I don't think he's in baseball right now. He's sitting at home waiting for somebody not to penalize him for his old school style. Because this is 2024. You can't cuss people out like Ozzie used to back in 2006.
Okay.
I love the backflip. The backflip was my favorite thing I've ever seen.
So there's a couple different options, but those would be my top 2 candidates, man. Joe Girardi or Ozzie again.
But I think they're looking at
Or what if the Yankees fire Aaron Boone?
That's what I was thinking. I heard Boone on the hot seat, but they in the playoffs. How you gonna fire them?
What does that mean with the New York Yankees?
That's true. You're right. You're absolutely right. Never mind.
You want to talk about Hall of Fame? Like the Reds, they Hall of Fame stack up with theirs. You want to talk about a Hall of Fame?
Yeah, but you're always on the hot seat in New York unless you was my man? Was it Joe Torre?
Yeah. Joe Torre, he the one. He had the longest stint with them.
Yeah,
but he won so many, like you couldn't get rid of him. I mean,
how many did he get?
Until they did get rid of him.
Right, that's what I said. Until they did. I mean, you can buy yourself some time by winning, but everybody got a number. Everybody got a time on the clock. So
I feel like the Yankees' job is one of those like the Lakers, where unless you're Joe Torre or Phil Jackson or Pat Riley, you're on the hot seat. Pretty much. There's no escaping it. Really quick, I want to talk about James Earl Jones before we get into the sport part. A good man, a good role model, a good actor, best voice ever.
We might as well go ahead and say the best voice.
Yeah.
Next to Morgan Freeman, it was him.
And I'm glad you said that.
I'll take him over Morgan Freeman. Go ahead.
But here's the funny thing, bro. I'm saying this is a joke, y'all. So nobody get offended, bro. If I was to leave this earth today and I got up to heaven and God sounded like James Earl Jones and Morgan Freeman, I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised if he did, bro.
Especially James Earl Jones. You'd be like, You've been acting this way for so
And,
long.
and, and,
Like,
and,
wait,
and
what?
the Lord has his voice. I would not be surprised.
I guarantee Guy's voice sounds something like James Earl.
It's close. It's definitely close.
Bruh,
Definitely close.
bro, that burning bush that Moses went to go see.
Yeah, I am that I am. I'm not being funny. I know it sounds something like
it sounds funny, bro, but I'm dead serious. I'm not even playing. I'm dead serious.
I'm telling you, man.
Because we've never. I don't think I've ever in my life heard someone with a voice so powerful and so deep like that.
Yeah, man.
And then him narrating stuff and doing
When he
Lion
narrated
King.
stuff, or even when he did other stuff in cartoons and all
We
that.
got to remember that's Darth Vader.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't get any better or more
Man.
powerful than Darth Vader and Mufasa.
But look what he, bro, his voice, bro, in the Lion King, bro, made our imaginations as kids go crazy. But it's like it also traumatized us because we loved him so much.
It did traumatize us because we hear somebody daddy with a deep voice like that, we get nervous. Like,
it traumatized.
I tell you how powerful. Hold on, Big John. I tell you how powerful his voice really was. One of my favorite scenes from Lion King. He wasn't even in it. You remember after the hyenas got whooped by Mufasa, and Scar was sitting up high talking to him, and he said, "Oh, Scar, we thought it was somebody important." And he was like, "Yeah, like Mufasa." I hear that name and I just tingle.
I always forget that was Whoopi Goldberg, bro. I always forget that.
Well, I don't care what you talking about. Wasn't nobody funnier than Ed, bro. Ed was the star of the show, bro. Wasn't nobody funnier than Ed, bro.
And what was the other one's name?
I forgot.
Because Whoopi was Shinzy, but she had me weak. She said, "Do it again."
Bro. When Mufasa had them on the ground, they was like, "No, we didn't know that was your son." And everybody looked at Ed and he snitched.
Yeah. So, and Darth Vader was actually, I don't know if they've redone a list, but I know that at one point in time, Darth Vader was voted the greatest villain of all time.
It's true. Yeah.
And I remember the Joker was number 2.
Heath Ledger one.
Well, yeah, he tore that. But honestly, to me, there has not been a bad Joker. Going back to what was his name, Cesar Romero, and the original one. Of course, Jack tore it up. You know,
it really ain't been no bad Jokers now that we think about it.
Yeah, but no, man, James Earl Jones will be missed with that powerful voice, and I just remember Coming to America. What did he say? "What is that, velvet?" And he just looked at it. King Joffrey. He played a good role in that one too. He'll be missed. John Amos, man. Before we get to
we talking about all the father figures.
Yeah, because I want to talk about all of them before we transition to sports. John Amos was a very underrated actor, in my opinion,
for sure.
And he was kind of that bridge, man, because him and Sherman Hemsley playing George Jefferson, was the beginning of the whole black sitcom mainstream thing. Yeah. Like that paved the way for the Uncle Phil's and Carl Winslow's and stuff that we love after that, you know. So you got to give him credit for doing that and for standing up for his own rights and getting kicked off the show, on Good Times. So, saying I'm just not going to play the buffoonery role or the angry black guy. I got more depth to me, so he took a stand. They cut him out the show, but hey.
Didn't they kill him out? Yeah, they killed him out, didn't they?
Yeah, that's where the famous damn. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah, they killed James off in the show. Definitely wasn't the same afterwards. Good Times was before all us, but I know we all went back and watched it at some point. But
yeah, they only had one more season after that.
Yeah, these are good men. That checked out, and even Charlie Hustle in his own right? You know, nobody's perfect. We all got our shortcomings. Last thing I'm gonna say about entertainment before we transition to our normal calling card on here. You know, it's funny, and I know people are gonna say, "Oh, well, you biased because that's your boy." I just remember leading up to all of this when people referred to Sean Diddy or Puff Daddy Combs, it was music mogul, business mogul, entrepreneur, this and this. And you know, I'm into this as a person who holds a communication degree and in this field of journalism. Isn't it funny how now that he's in trouble, the word and description that you hear attributed to him is rapper Sean Diddy Combs now? Has anybody noticed
I
that's how
noticed that
he gets referred
yesterday.
to now?
I noticed it yesterday because they said something about uh, R&B singer Mary J. Blige and rapper Sean P. Diddy Combs. I was like, wait a minute.
Like, first of all, he's not even a rapper. He
No,
raps,
he
but
was known to be a producer.
he's a producer. Secondly, like I said, y'all referred to him as a music mogul and entrepreneur and everything else, but it's the connotation that's being applied to it now. It's like, oh, now he's in trouble. Let's phrase him as rapper.
We don't like rap. We like rap. We like rappers. We do not like those thugs.
Creflo Dollar
Creflo.
on the hook before the Thuggish Ruggish Bone track, but I won't get into that because we've talked about it before, and I continue to say what I've said, even though I spent the vast majority of my life, idolizing and looking up to that man as a music mogul and producer and businessman. If he forced anybody to do any of what has been purported or stated, then he deserves the same thing as anybody else in that scenario. But yeah, I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. Well, I ain't upset. I'm gonna stay away.
I ain't got nothing to say about it.
I'm gonna stay away from it.
I don't want to get into that, but hopefully the facts continue to come out, and whatever happens, should happen.
Mm-hmm.
So
he said he is pleading not guilty. He taking that to the bay. So that's all I know. So
I'm
we'll
sure he is, and fortunately, unfortunately, however you look at it, he's got, at least for right now, still got the paper to plead not guilty. So don't mean it's gonna go his way, because when you get charged by the feds, that's 98% conviction rate. So
they freeze your assets of what you got.
I don't know how Irv Gotti made it out, but
they took everything from Irv though.
Well, yeah, I mean, he paid for it literally, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. But we'll leave that alone. Let's leave it. Let's keep
get my preacher water.
Yeah, let's keep it going.
So on the sports tip, before we get over to our beloved Bengals, I want to talk about NBA preseason really quickly. Training camps are opening up. It was big news last Friday when we were off the air. My New York Knicks pulled off quite the trade.
They did.
Wanted to get you all's opinions on that. I actually love the move.
I was going to ask you that. Did you like the move?
Who all did? I didn't see who all was. I'm watching the news.
Yeah, well, I was going to summarize that for the people anyway. So what happened last Friday is the Knicks finalized a trade with the Minnesota Timberwolves, trading All-Star center forward Julius Randle and guard Dante DiVincenzo to the Timberwolves in exchange for All-Star center Karl Anthony Towns. And I think the Knicks gave up a future draft pick for that. But
yeah, I know. I did see that part. I did see a future draft pick.
Yeah, I know it's a first-round draft pick, but the Knicks, luckily, with this new front office brass, have been holding on to their draft picks, so they do have a few to spare going forward. But I like the move. Karl Anthony Towns is a big that can play inside, probably needs to play more inside than he does, but likes to stretch the perimeter, can shoot, does not, and this is no shot at Julius Randle because he helped bring us New York Knicks back from a long period of destitute that we were going through.
I was going to say, watch it, Al. Watch it.
Does not need to have the ball in his hands to be effective. That's all I'm saying. That's not a diss. It's just a fact. Because when you have a point guard like Jalen Brunson running the show, that can become a problem if somebody else needs to constantly have their hands on the ball too to create and be effective. And you rather your point guard do that because that's what he's there to do, is run the show and distribute. So I like the trade. Does it close the gap on Nate Celtics? Probably not, but on paper,
It's going to take a year for them to gel.
On paper, they should be the Celtics' stiffest competition, I think.
Should be.
You like the trade, Big John? I see you smirking.
I'm just laughing at. I'm being petty. I'm just laughing, but I don't know. I mean, I like it. Like you said, it makes Julius Randle, was a little bit more ball dominant than what he needed to be. And like you said, being able to have Cat stretch the floor, be on the outside sometimes to let drivers go in and do what they need to do, it helps. But which Cat don't show up? Now I know everybody had their ups and downs during the season, but we know Cat has a tend to fade when it gets big time. Sometimes he don't show up.
Pretty good in the majority of the playoffs last year.
Yeah. Last year he did his thing, but some
especially
games
in eliminating the defending at that point champion.
Yeah. So maybe he's gotten over that, and I think a lot of that is
got Dewan in the house, brother Dewan.
Oh my gosh, let it go. God, let it go.
And then, but like you said, it helps them, but also probably they on top of Randall being ball dominant, man, he also ain't been healthy the past couple of years, so it probably helped that too. So if Cat can stay healthy, he shows up. It helps. But with the T-Wolves, man, they didn't do too bad in the trade either, man. If Randall can stay healthy and he can be a semblance of what he was, they got Edwards. They still got the stifle tire in the middle to play defense, do what he need to do. They're gonna be straight too. I don't think nobody came out short on the short end.
I think it's a good trade for both teams, honestly.
Yeah.
The Knicks needed to shake something up to try to get over that hump. I can't remember his name, and I'm mad I forgot. But who did they pick up from the Nets?
Markel Bridges.
Yes, Mikal Bridges. That's an underrated pickup too. Well, people were talking about it earlier in the summer.
He's not underrated though.
But nobody's talking about it now. I still think that's going to be one of the steals of the offseason.
No, I think he gonna be the piece that they was.
Do you think
when
I mean, I'm gonna ask Nate. I mean, you the hooper, but do you think they have enough? I'm just gonna sound real funny. Do they have enough scoring? Do they have enough people that can score?
Yeah, Markel Bridges is a scorer. Markel Bridges is a scorer. You got Jalen Brunson, he's a scorer. You lose a little bit with DiVincenzo, but DiVincenzo for the majority of last season was missing.
You said it right, it's DiVincenzo. You said it right.
DiVincenzo, excuse me.
DiVincenzo, I'm sorry, but yeah, he was missing majority of the season last year.
But OG was re-signed in free agency to the Knicks. Anunoby?
Yeah.
Wananobi? I mean, yeah. Yeah, so he was, but he's not an offensive player, though.
He's not, but you look up and all of a sudden he got 20 at the end of the night.
Yeah, I mean, he's a garbage man. Let's leave it at that. He's a garbage man. Everything that
what you mean by
he's
that,
gonna
though,
pick
because
up.
it sounds worse than what you mean. Explain
So
that.
When I say garbage man, in my perspective, he's more known for defense. But if he's like a long rebound, he'll go get it, put it back in the basket, or get a steal, he'll go finish it. He's that type of person. Let's be real. When he was with Toronto, he wasn't that effective.
Or he could be
playing with Scotty Barnes. He playing with a more tainted team that really didn't have any true scoring. But he's that presence there due to the fact that he's great at being a defensive player and also being able to finish. So I'm not taking nothing from him, but I see him with the Knicks. He's more of a garbage man.
I knew what you meant by that. I just wanted you to
Yeah.
elaborate to everybody else.
So and then with Markel Bridges coming in, he won't have to. You won't have to worry about the offense because Markel Bridges can do it. Jalen Brunson can do it. Cat's supposed to do it. Those are the three that you got a big three now. You
Can
have
you
a legit
imagine
big three.
Cat and Porzingis?
You say what?
I said, can you imagine the matchup with Cat and Porzingis out
Yeah,
there?
two injury prone fools that's gonna be going at each other, and hopefully both of them
Well,
healthy when they do it.
I was more so going for the skill big man part.
Oh yeah, for the skill big man set, yeah, I give you that. I give you that, but my thing is, I always look at it from a realistic level. When they play each other, when one starts shooting, the other one starts shooting. When the other one goes to the post, the other one goes to the post. So it's like a follow the leader type of game when them two play each other. If you look back at the history of them, that's what they did. When Porzingis was in Washington and Cat played in Washington, it turned into a 3-point competition. When he went to Minnesota, they were trying to get past each other, up, head fake. I'm trying to get past you, do all that stuff. So it's like tick for tack when them two play each other.
Yeah,
So
it's
it'll
gonna be
be
an
interesting.
interesting matchup, but
It'll be interesting.
I still like the trade, and I gotta go get some more New York Knicks gear because my other team ain't doing nothing out, out
Y'all
in
got 10 players, bro.
Los Angeles.
Y'all got 10 players.
Man, we drafted Dalton Connect and Bronny James.
That's all y'all got. That gives y'all 12 now. Y'all got 12 players.
I don't even want to talk about them.
Okay. All right.
So moving on. So we had Brother Dewan in here. I missed my first Schroeder game of the year this past weekend. Now, partly because the game was changed and moved again, which I've been very vocal about cancellations and what that does, in my opinion, to kids and players that are ready to play on a certain day, and how impossible it is to regenerate that same energy and inertia as the original game day that you were scheduled to play. But moving on, unfortunately, our Jaguars, Big John, did suffer their second loss of the season. Still 4-2 though. Very much in play still to win a league title. First time since 2014. Before that, you got to go back to 04. When we was out there, that first league title team. But no, they still have everything in front of them, can accomplish what they want, out of this year. I believe Gamble is the next game, if I looked at the schedule right.
Yeah, it's Gamble.
Yeah. So I'll be there. I don't know if Big John will be there.
They playing at Gamble, or is it's short of home game, man?
No, it's at Gamble. So I think it'll be a start.
So they going to the Swamp. They going to the west side.
Nah, it'll be a starter.
It's
gonna be a starter. Oh, I thought they still had their field over there. Maybe that's their practice.
Ain't nobody playing on that. That's like saying Aiken still got their home field.
Yeah, it's true.
Like it's there, but ain't nobody using it.
Yeah.
Right.
Got Brother Rod in the house. He said Lakers haven't made a move in 2 years.
They ain't got the money to make no moves.
Can't do nothing, Rod. I remember 2 years ago, me and Rod was debating back and forth because at the time they hadn't done anything. And then Rob Pelinka pulled off that trade for Jared Vanderbilt, D'Lo, and who else was part of that trade?
They still got D'Lo? Did y'all lose D'Lo?
No, he's still there.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
Somebody else was part of that trade.
Vanderbilt. He ain't on the team no more. I know who you're talking about. I can't think of his name.
But there was another acquisition earlier that year, and Rui came in. Hachimura. He kind of had a down year last year. We gave him the bag, and he didn't really produce. I could argue the same thing about Austin Reeves. Took a little back step last year too.
Austin still was doing his thing though. He still was stepping up.
I didn't say he wasn't good. I'm just saying, maybe it's going to take a year or so for him to adjust to being relied on as much as they needed him last year. Like last year, he was in a, hey, you're fully part of the rotation. We're expecting, night in and night out production from you. It wasn't that, whatever you get is a bonus, when he was just a rotation guy. Like, they were trying to have him start last year. So, yeah, a lot of things going on. But see,
He did fall out of the starting lineup. You're
he
right.
did. They had to make that change and get his confidence back. But getting back to our Jaguars, brother Dwan, I'll be there, on Saturday. I need y'all to quit scheduling these games during Buckeye games, though. But I'll be there to cheer
Be at work 6 to 6. I'm sorry, I ain't gonna be there.
my guys on. Big John, you working?
I'm working, but I'm gonna see if I can finesse something, make it there. But yeah,
All right, come on, Chicken George, make it happen.
I'm definitely at the one on the 17th though. I will be at that one for sure.
Yes,
Who
and
they?
the Hall of Fame dinner.
Is that the 17th? The weekend of the 17th?
That's the 18th,
The
Friday.
game is on Thursday. But yeah, I'll be at that.
Game is on Thursday. The Hall of Fame dinner is the next day on Friday, the 18th.
Who they play the 17th?
Who?
Dayton Christian. Dayton Christian.
Okay. Yours truly will be speaking. I'll be doing the bios and introducing the two inductees, Coach Works.
Hey, look at you. You big time Schroeder important over there, man.
Coach Works and Mr. Brown. I met with them a couple weeks ago to get all the particulars and make sure I remembered their stories correctly. But more importantly, man, it's an honor because what we're trying to do is help build some community and some tradition that was missing from Schroeder. We were the guinea pigs. We didn't have any when we were there because we were just starting off. And then there was such a disconnect where people were just like, F it. And, we're trying to build that bridge back, and it's been successful. We've had people, alumni, posting stuff on social media. Attendance is up when we try to have these events and stuff. So hopefully anybody that's available, tickets are still available on SchroederJaguars.com. It's only $15. It's $100 if you want to get a table, which seats 8 at the awards dinner. Brother Dewan, what did he say? He said, appreciate y'all, man. That's all CPS that schedule. I know it is, brother. I'm just giving you a hard time. But see, that's why we got to keep winning so they don't give us that garbage, schedule, so we can enter the
Hey, quick question. I know this is off the record. This is off track. Withrow's really 1-5.
Yes.
That's bad.
They schedule a schedule they shouldn't have.
That's true. Yeah, that's right. They going based
But
off.
you still gotta come out. You still gotta come out and play. But
yeah.
I'm trying not to say nothing about.
Oh yeah, them like I said, them and Taff always ops. So we don't even talk about them.
No, it ain't even just that. I have 2 players on Withrow's team that I coached at Purcell that I'm still very close with, particularly wide receiver Carleon Neal, who is committed to Eastern Illinois University, who I would like to see more involved in that offense. Also, they got J.L. Harris, the all-time single-season leading rusher in Purcell Marion history, who ran for over 2,000 yards last year. And I won't get into that either, but it's not being used. This is a guy that has a scholarship offer and is already committed to Central Michigan University. It's not dumpster juice when it comes to college football. Central Michigan has put a lot of people in the NFL.
For sure has.
Including crazy Antonio Brown. So
that's a fact.
I don't know. But I can't speak on it because I haven't watched Withrow all year. I just know that those are 2 players that yes, I'm biased about and left their school senior year expecting to be a little bit more involved than they have been. I'll just say that.
Yeah. I get what you mean.
And leave it at that.
Dewan
said, can anyone come to the award dinner? Yeah, but you do have to buy a ticket. Like I was saying, it's available on SchroederJaguars.com for $15. I mean, by you being a coach, Dewan, you probably can get in free.
Right. You ain't got nothing to worry about.
Yeah, I would ask Brother Newberry, but I think you'd be good either way. They said, yeah, man, they got a young team too. Well, Big John hit the nail on the head because shout out to Big Ronnie. He had asked me a few weeks ago what's wrong with Withrow, and I told him, I said, well, for starters, that schedule was meant for last year's team.
Mm-hmm. You lose 8 seniors. It's pretty tough.
That was a pretty stiff schedule to start off.
Yeah.
With X and Elder and the teams that they played.
X, Elder, LaSalle, out of town team that was very good. And even though they did sneak past Taft is tough this year. Like,
yeah, that's another thing, Dewan. That's the only reason I was telling people, and of course, me being one of the keynote speakers, I didn't have to pay either, but of course I did because all the money is going back to Schroeder, which is part of the point, and to keep this athletic Hall of Fame going even after this first year, and all of what's already been donated and set up by great AD Brother Newberry. We want as much funds going back too. So I've reached out to a lot of people. Hopefully we'll have our former quarterback there, Big John. Talked to Brother DJ. I even talked to Tone Bone about showing up as well. I believe Jeff is coming down from Columbus. So Big Gene won't be able to make it because he'll be traveling out of town. But, everybody spread the word, man. We're trying to make this a really nice event and honor 2 guys that I'm really honored to be speaking and introducing, because these were 2 men that we knew had our back and our best interests, at heart. Right. Even the kids, when Mr. Brown showed up, some of them don't really remember or know of Coach Wirtz, that's more for our era. But Mr. Brown just, stepped down a few years ago, man, and just to see they face, light up when he, walked in, is that Mr. Brown? And that's what I was telling Newberry, like, see, that energy can't be fake. That is only from being authentic,
not at all.
A real connection with the kids.
Yeah. And being in them hallways with them for years.
So I'm really extremely happy about that, and hoping our Jags get back on track. So this is not sports related. Before we get to our Bengals in Ohio State, I put the question out there last week talking about the difference between an iPhone and a Samsung Galaxy, because I was really wanting some substantial answers instead of, oh, I don't want to see green messages, or it's more simple, which it ain't.
Listen to your little brother. I told you.
Just give it time, man. You're just being impatient, man, because you're trying to make moves. That's what you're trying to do.
So I listen to Nate. I listen to other people. Jeff told me if I did it, I wasn't gonna like it, because he did it.
Jeff said that.
Yeah, because he did
Jeff
it.
The ops. He the ops too.
Yeah, he did it and still don't like it. But him being a businessman, he did say it helps, with the integration and apps being synced for the iPhone in particular, makes life a lot easier. So yes, I did give in and do what I swore I would never do, and
You see it, brand new, $1 million case on it.
The Apple Universe, and I got the Pro Max. And well, I will,
big boy. You got the
I will admit that there are some perks and different things. Like, it's already got GarageBand on there. So if we ever, were all on the road together and needed to stream and didn't have the MacBook, guess what we could still do and record? We could still do a podcast right here with this thing. Now, that will require John and Nate to be free. They be tied up all the time, but In all seriousness, the first day that I got it, I'm not gonna lie. First day that I got it, I knew and was hell bent. Like, I'm taking this thing back to Verizon and getting me a brand new S24 yellow Android, and I ain't never thinking about switching again. But then you know what happened? A lot of people said, you fell in love with it, didn't you? No, that's not what happened. What happened is I forgot how hard and how long it takes to switch everything over when you get a new phone. I don't even care if it is the same type of phone, and signing back into social media and everything else, and then wanting to authenticate the old device. And I'm like, what if I got rid of that device or I ain't got it with me? It was hell. So I said, you know what? No, I'm not switching nothing. I'm keeping this. That's why I'm keeping
I'm glad you fought. This is my biggest thing with Al. When it come to adversity, Al, like, no, I'm going with what I know and I'm sticking to my guns and ain't nobody changing my mind. I'm glad he fought through the adversity. Because that's the biggest thing Al has a struggle doing is fighting through a situation where he can't control everything.
As you kept your
So
Andrew, we wouldn't have been no adversity.
it. Well, see, that's the thing, that last part of what you said. And you right, Big John. What Claude say, and you was right. But it's
talk about that upper room.
it's not that. It's, y'all know I'm a creature of habit. You know, I have a way of doing things. I'm very systematic, and I know what works for me and what doesn't. And I'm big on convenience. I don't like being inconvenienced and having to figure overly complicated things out. I mean, I'll do it. I'm like anybody else when backed into that situation. I'm actually good when backed into that situation. I just don't like being in that situation. Um, so yeah, and I did take it a little bit as a challenge. I'm like, man, look, it just keep it. In the long run, it probably will work out better for what I do as a content creator and everything else. And just, I got tired of the whole thing. You say you have an Android, and I'm not one that caves in to peer pressure, but it's the look you get. It's the when my phone dropped and cracked. Several places were like, "Oh, we only fix iPhones." I'm like, okay. Then the
And I
one
think it is with the screen with the Samsung. Because I know with that flip one or that fold, they can't fix that screen because it's like attached to the phone. So I know they can't with that Samsung flip and fold. They can't.
I wouldn't
They,
get the flip joint. That's like going back in time. I mean, I know it's still a smartphone, but
They want to be jazzy and do different stuff. I ain't got time for that.
they want that. They want that impact. Remember, we used to have, well, f you.
Right.
there
Now,
was more power in that
Flip.
hang up when you could flip that phone,
You can flip it down.
or the real old school joint where you could, what they
Don't
call it.
nobody care about you. Flip.
right.
Right. Everybody see you flipping hard. They be like, oh
Yeah,
yeah,
you
yeah,
can't do that with a
that's that
smartphone. You
ultimate.
mess around and
That's the
break
cuss out.
the glass.
Yeah,
You can't do that
I
with a
know. I
smartphone.
need to get I do have a very sturdy case, like Nate said, but I need to get the screen protector too.
Amazon. Just get one
Yeah.
off Amazon.
Yeah, because that case, of course, it was gonna be clear. I'm like, now I done made this switch for all these trendy folk. It's gonna be clear so y'all can see.
What, what red? What red say a Harlem Nights? And I ain't selling, punk. I ain't switching those.
I'm buying from this. I ain't buying neither. Oh man, but yeah, all things considered, I mean, there's still some things I'm trying to figure out, like how to stop Google. I think I stopped iCloud from doing it, but it's eating up all my space and gigabytes because they want to keep backing everything up, and I don't need all my messages and photos backed up and stuff. So I'm still trying to learn how to do all of that because it's got my email full too. But all in all,
Just
excuse me,
pay that $1.99 for that extra storage. That's all you gotta do.
that too. Uh, all in all, I think that eventually I'll be okay. And
You will
like
be fine.
like the phone.
Then you ain't gonna want to go back nowhere else.
Told you I'm not switching none of this shit because it took too much to get set up.
Looks like you gonna have to stick us because I ain't giving you.
But you know what was funny, because I switched to Verizon. That's another thing about this transition. It wasn't just me getting a new phone. You know, I switched carriers from T-Mobile to Verizon because they, you know, were offering a deal giving out iPhones for free. You know, you just pay activation, you know, for switching over or whatever. Now, of course, the salesman online, you know, made it seem much easier than it actually, you know, was. You know, he told me, "Oh yeah, when you go in, they'll help you get everything switched over from your Android to your iPhone." Blah blah blah. They gave me the look when I came in, and the girl said, "You know, oh, for an Android, oh yeah, it'll probably take like an hour and da 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 and all this other
The
stuff."
only people that do it is AT&T. Them the only ones.
And then she said it's going to cost you an extra $30 to do that. And it's like, it wasn't really the point of the $30. I mean, obviously I had that, but it's like the Bengals was getting ready to come on. You know, it was a long day. It was raining. And she's like, it's super easy. You could do it yourself. And then she charged me $40 for a charger. And I was like, all right, look, let me just get this and go home. Like, so I mean, honestly, the switching over of everything wasn't, but it's the customization and getting your phone the way you want it. I mean, that's still an ongoing process over a week later. So look what the cat didn't drug in.
We live, baby.
Yeah, we was just talking about your Withrow Tigers, Cal.
I know he over there crying tears of pain and agony. That's what he crying about.
Yeah, man. So I switched over to Cal, man. I got me an iPhone finally.
I ain't selling. I'm staying in front of him. I ain't selling.
What he say?
Go ahead and stay with that Actel. Go ahead and stay with that Actel and enjoy it.
I have a Samsung, but I mean, it ain't the top of the line Samsung, but I have a Samsung.
Big John, just because it say Samsung don't mean it ain't.
Probably gotta win. Yeah, John ain't even got a Galaxy.
I do got a Galaxy. It just it ain't the top flight.
Got a Droid.
It's a gal. It ain't even a Galaxy. It's a gal.
First of all, I don't care. I don't think that much stock in phones anyway. Y'all can have it as long as I can do what I need.
I ain't even flexing like that right now. Like I said, I gotta figure out the rest of this phone my damn self before I start. Yeah, but you know what, Cal? You still didn't tell me what's going on with JL, so we could talk off the air, man. I know you busy like John working all the time now, but I still need answers on what's going on with JL. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to start using my platform to put people on blast.
It's gonna be a different level. You do that.
Big John got Boost Mobile from Dale Road.
He got that from Roseline.
Right. Hey man, I ain't worried about it. Hey, well, I keep my little Samsung. Oh yeah, I got to talk about, but I'm not talking about y'all in particular. But the playing
man, you on Roseline Mobile?
Same people screaming that I got an iPhone stuff. Look at their car, look at their house, and worry about that. Now I ain't saying y'all.
I was about to, yeah. I don't like fronting like that, but
you ain't got an iPhone, but live in the fade. Girl, bye.
It's a lot of fake livers. Right. It's a lot of fake livers with iPhones.
Like I got an iPhone, but go look at that Jeep outside too.
Oh yeah, no, you good. I said I ain't talking about you brothers. You brothers got y'all stuff together. I ain't talking about y'all. Other people.
I mean, it's just a status thing for real, man, and it comes down to preference. And like I said, as far as preference and how to do stuff, I mean, at this point, I still prefer, you know, the Android. Now, like I said, this is just a little over a week of me having the iPhone, and I'm sure at some point it may change and you know, syncing stuff, but I feel like the Android was easier, but again, that's all I've ever had. So
yeah, man, y'all didn't like Safari in high school, and y'all want to act like y'all like iPhone.
I was low key a computer guy, so I didn't care for either.
Nobody liked them. Nobody liked them back then.
I had to deal with it. We had iMacs.
We did in school too, but nobody liked them still.
Right.
You still on Internet Explorer?
Bro, I got Firefox and Chrome. Don't worry about it.
I hated Firefox. Like, where did that come from?
Yeah,
Where
that
did Firefox come from?
they trying to do away with. I tell you what. I'll be honest. Like I hate Safari.
They trying to get rid of it.
So I use Google Chrome and that works better. Like even for StreamYard, you have to use Chrome. You can't use Safari.
You can't use the other one.
It don't work.
Well, Safari end up getting pushed out because they using what's it called, Edge now. So
I say you still got a T. Yeah. Hey man, it ain't no arms race, man, and keeping up with the Joneses. Like I said, it was just the perfect scenario for me to finally do it where I couldn't pass it up. And I'm like, well, shoot, if they gonna give me this and it's brand new, like, why not? But
I ain't cheap. But if I gotta pay all that money for a phone, it better turn to Optimus Prime, nigga. I ain't.
But the thing is, my plan though with Verizon, I'm even with that phone, I'm still paying less than I did at T-Mobile.
Well, you got a deal.
Every time I walked in T-Mobile, they would always tell me you're paying way too much for just one line, but they would never give me a new deal. So I'm like, why bring it up?
Right.
That's why I left T-Mobile because they was talking about why are you paying so much? Like it's y'all got me paying this much. That's why.
So Cal say we'll transition to the Bengal talk. He said, "What we gonna do, man? King Henry coming to the jungle in purple."
He's always struggled against us, though.
Here's the thing. I'm glad you said that. He struggled against us when the defense was playing well and we had the numbers. There are no people in the middle right now. There's no big DJ. There's no big DJ Reader. The linebackers aren't getting penetration because the defensive line
is hurt.
And like the linebackers aren't getting penetration because the defensive line isn't playing well.
And it looked like we lost Hendrickson. What is it? They said they don't know what his timetable is right now.
Indefinite, but there was some good news on the defensive line front. I'm glad you brought that up today. The Bengals announced that Myles Murphy and rookie defensive tackle, third-round pick McKinley Jackson were activated to active status and are practicing. And you remember I kept saying that at the beginning of the season. I said, we're going to have to depend on those two newbies up front, Chris Jenkins and McKinley Jackson.
And Jenkins, past 2 games, has been playing well. He got that club on his hand. He's been playing well.
That's still limited in him, though, not being able to grab, engage, and stuff.
His defense, he's been playing well.
I know, but that still limits a guy when you got that big club out there. You can't use your hands to get movement up front.
Right.
But so what do they need to do to go 1-0 again? Because that has to be the focus right now. You can't worry about, being 1-3 or what the odds are for a playoff, run for somebody to start 0-3. You got to focus on being 1-0 each week and build some continuity. Honestly, I'm not really worried about the offense. Now, I don't know where the, criticisms of, Joe come in at, in regards to that. I will say last week, Zach did something that he doesn't like doing. He actually ran the football.
He don't like running the football at all. I don't understand that.
He ran the football.
Chase Brown needs to be used more frequently.
Yes, he does. You ran the football and you won though because you had more of a balanced attack.
Yeah,
and that opened things up. And yes, I've been saying that for quite a while now. It's easy to see the explosiveness of Chase Brown when he gets handed the football. And I'm sorry, I know he's a good football player, but I've only seen it in spurts this year. But when I watch Zach Moss run the football, I just don't see explosion right now. He kind of reminds me, not to be funny or that this is a diss because I don't mean it in that way, but just the running style, he reminds me of Rudy Johnson on steroids.
And not to be funny, Rudy Johnson may be a little bit more explosive than him.
Yeah, he definitely was.
I think Zach Moss is more north-south fast than Rudy.
Yeah.
But as far as the hips, like Big John was saying, and explosiveness and jump cuts and anything like that, I'd still say they're very close to even. But yeah, I saw Rudy break off longer runs than I've seen Zach do so far.
We got to remember, we brought in a man that didn't have even over 1,000-yard season.
Well, he wasn't the guy. He was the change of pace back. Jonathan Taylor was the guy in Indy. Moss was the change of pace guy. He was never the main guy. So I feel like Brown should be the main guy. Bring Moss in for change of pace.
So the problem is, though, we're giving up too many points on defense right now.
Defense, for
And
sure.
it's almost to the point where the offense has to go tit for tat or score every drive or they're in trouble. I don't really know outside of a trade right now anything that they can necessarily, do. I mean, Lou can't out scheme everything. Sometimes what they say is not about the X's and O's, it's about the Jimmys and Joes. Like, you got to go out there and get it done. And they have suffered a lot of injuries on the defensive line this year. So getting Miles Murphy back, especially with Trey Hendrickson being out a different amount of time, will definitely help. Well, I'm glad Cal said it, so I don't have to say it because I'll get accused of being biased if I say it. So let me just post what Cal said.
Yeah, but and I'm not giving them a pass. They were getting beat even before the defensive line was having trouble. But we all know defensive line helps out DBs because even Cam Taylor-Britt was getting beat on some plays too, and he's probably the best DB right now, and he was getting beat.
I'm gonna just let it marinate for a second.
I mean, fact is still fact.
I'm gonna go ahead and say something. I'm gonna go ahead and say it, Al. It's okay. I can say it. I can say it, can't I?
Yeah, you said.
Okay, so since we got these boys from up north playing corner and everything else, we've been downhill.
Alex laughing, but he like Leon Hall. Alex laughing, he like Leon Hall.
I ain't talking about Leon Hall.
We're not talking about Leon Hall. We're talking about right now.
Well, what school did he go to?
Right now.
What
Since we got these corners from up north.
What school did he go to?
Who?
I'll get back to that.
Leon Hall.
We know where Leon went.
He went
we
to.
talking about right now, John.
No,
Leon Hall ain't even playing no
he
more.
went to. Let's go blue. Now, so I gave it to people. I gave him the Let's Go Blue tour. Now, honestly, I said this to your guy, brother, the other day in the group chat. Brother Will, happy birthday to him.
Happy birthday, bro.
When the Bengals roster was littered with Buckeyes, you went to the Super Bowl and you went to an AFC championship game the following year. Since you've invested in Ann Arbor, now you can come up with whatever reasons you want as to why that's taking place, but the facts are the facts. And as I mentioned, particularly on the defensive end, and that punter didn't have a good, what's his name, Robbins or whatever, didn't have a good rookie year either. It's not hard to look good, particularly on defense, when you know what's coming in advance because your program has been stealing signals for 3 years.
No comment.
That's what happens when you go with trends and instead of, because honestly, and I know I shouldn't say this, and this may come back to haunt me, but I'm just gonna go on and say it. The Steelers and the Browns don't have a problem drafting Ohio State players and seem to make them fit quite well when they get on their rosters. Yet the organization that's closest to that state university, for whatever reason, I don't know.
The tablet in the background. Yeah, my bad.
I don't know if it's because of Big Daddy Dan Wilkerson or Archie Griffin or Billy Price, seems to shy away from its state university players, who, by the way, the school that's produced the most first-round draft picks all time. So I won't belittle the point because I'm not trying to criticize the Bengals, but facts are the facts.
I agree with Al. I'm sorry. I agree with Al.
That was the diet that says when the Buckeyes on defense, since you excel, no lie. To be honest, even when you had a couple guys that struggled up front, like and Isaiah Prince, even on the other side of the ball on offense or whatever, you still were able to get to the Super Bowl. It's not just Al loves his Buckeyes, blah blah blah. It's not about that. Like there's a reason why they have the most first round draft picks all time. Even Big John, says he don't really mess with Ohio State like that, but he's a football guy and he knows football players when he sees them. Like, come on, man. Like, yes, I'm a fan, but they don't produce them like they do at Ohio State. The only other school that ever did is the team that Big John, loves. That I said, man, you could always tell the difference between a Buckeye and a Hurricane. Mm-hmm. The rest of the schools, I don't know if you can necessarily tell that a guy went to USC or Notre Dame or Texas. When you see a Buckeye, you know a Buckeye. When you see a Hurricane, you know a Hurricane.
It's just the tradition, man, and at that time, the coaching that they had and what they put out and who they recruited is just a way of doing things.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, but obviously I'm rooting for DJ Turner and Dax and Chris Jenkins because it's for the best interest of the Cincinnati Bengals. But I think, and I'll stand by on this, or stand down, however you want to phrase it. I think as long as you got Joe, you got a shot.
Yeah, I agree. You got to put up points.
Yeah, but I've had that conversation. You got a shot, but just like, and I've said this many times on air, just like the Rams had to retool and retool that team from Golf to Gurley to Stafford and the boys. They have to do the same thing. You cannot stay stagnant. You still have to keep putting players around Joe. You still have to keep doing what they need to do.
So what about a trade for Riddick from the Jets?
I forgot about Riddick ain't played. I forgot.
What you gonna give up?
Are the Jets
give up something
to an in-conference foe also?
Man, that would be a good move. I ain't gonna
right now.
But they trade with another team in the AFC like the Bengals, though. When they're trying to tread water, also at the moment.
I think at this point it wouldn't hurt because there's a lot of teams. Even though the AFC is still tough, it's a lot of teams that we thought were going to be there that aren't there, like the Miami Dolphins with Tua and they deploting. It's certain teams. Houston, even though they started off playing well, they're still kind of struggling a little bit. They're still trying to find their way. So it's kind of, a toss-up. The Ravens ain't playing as good as they need to play either. So.
Shout out to Will Johnson, man. Why we ain't? Let's go get Eli Apple back. Let's go get Eli back.
Bill posted that in our group chat, asking, he says, y'all don't miss Eli Apple yet? I never told the Bengals to get rid of him.
We didn't. We used to hate him. We hated him for certain things, for certain situations.
That's all y'all smart Bengals fans that wanted him gone and thought Samaje Perine was the best thing since sliced bread. And
no, I never said that.
All these other goofy stuff that
getting rid of Mixon and all that. That's what y'all wanted.
Get rid of Mixon. That's what they wanted.
Shout out to Joe Dean, even though he hurt right now.
And DJ Reader looked real good the other night with the Lions.
They should have paid him.
The Lions
should have paid him.
No matter what.
Lions look good.
Dan Campbell has something going up there in Detroit.
He do. He definitely do.
Guys believe him and they want to play. They've gotten better every year that he's been there. Made it to the NFC Championship game last year. And honestly, although when it comes to NFL football, I don't care about anybody but the Bengals and tip my cap and wish the Philadelphia Eagles well, but they don't look all that great either.
They decimated by injury right now, man. They two top receivers are down, defense is down.
Yeah. But in saying that, I say
San Fran injury decimated too, but they still win the games.
San Fran been taking some L's too now.
They only got one loss.
Who told Sam Darnold he was garbage?
Well,
he had to let everybody know what it was.
Here's the thing. Sam Darnold first.
Who the real Puff Daddy is.
Here it is. Sam Darnold it's kind of like Geno with the Seahawks. He wasn't really given a chance. When he got to the Jets were terrible, and he still showed signs of playing well. The Jets were just terrible. Then they drafted that trash quarterback from BYU to replace him. Then he goes to Carolina, who was also trash. First of all, Al and Brother Nate, you give me Justin Jefferson, Addison, I'll be a Pro Bowl quarterback. He's fine. He has weapons. He has running backs. He has tight ends. He finally has a team.
Can you imagine Big John doing a play fake and rolling out?
Hey, bro, I'm running. I ain't gonna look no different. I ain't gonna look no different from Dante Culver. I ain't gonna look no different. I ain't gonna look no different.
No, you gonna look like my man. He used to quarterback at
Jared Lorenzo. Jared Lorenzo is bigger than me.
Man,
Talk about
huge.
God rest his soul. He's bigger than me.
He was huge.
Wearing number 22 out there.
Right.
He did have a cannon though.
He definitely did. Hollins.
You see, what's his name? That was
got a Super Bowl ring.
What was his name in Tennessee? Is it Malik Willis?
Yeah.
And he got his revenge on his old team.
Real good up there in Green Bay. Yeah. They actually took a step back trying to get Jordan Love reinfused into the lineup last week.
They should have just let him get healthy. But
they should have sat him another week.
Yeah, man.
It's gonna be an interesting year in the NFL, and honestly, I don't feel like the Bengals are done right now. And that's not me being a
I don't either.
Anything. It's just let it play out. Now, again, that's why I called this episode what it's called, No Room for Error, because they, like us, don't have any room for error right now.
Skating on thin ice, buddy.
Yeah. Yo, who got a light? How about a Bud Light?
Right.
Transitioning to college. Man, it's been nice the last few weeks watching Arch Manning in Texas.
Yeah.
Hey, but you know, scary though, like, and Ewers is good. Like, they have two starting NFL ready quarterbacks, and the backup is Archie Manning's grandson. Like, and he's also balling. Now, he played two teams that were decent. He ain't played no world beaters yet. He ain't played no big time school.
You can see the traits.
You can see it, but we've seen Ewers play big time football. And I'm not saying Arch is not ready. I'm not saying that because he showed he's ready. But he ain't played nobody yet. Let's let him play one of those teams. Let's see what.
Well, you know, Texas is who I picked to be in the national championship against your state university. So none of this is surprising me. You know, Quinn Edwards has to sit out a few games due to injury. Arch Manning comes in. It looks like,
and you know what's Manning's
nephew.
He definitely looked like the nephew.
Switching gears, and I'm gonna stay on that. But it's funny, man. I had a conversation with Cal. We was talking about the Georgia-Alabama game, and I said Georgia's about to get popped. Now, Alabama almost gave it away, but it was getting real ugly. It was getting real ugly. But
did you watch that game with Cal?
Yeah, I watched. We were in separate places, but I watched it. Yeah, we both watched it.
I actually watched it. Now, y'all know I don't watch many SEC games, you know, during the year, but that was one where I was flipping back and forth between my Buckeyes and, you know, watching that one. And you're right. At first, I'm like, man, this is a blowout. I'm like, I can't believe they got Alabama still thinking Nick Saban's there or something like.
Yeah, man, Jordan Milroe was out there looking like Cordell Stewart. He was
dropping the dime.
He was doing everything, running over cats, running away from cats, throwing touchdowns. He was out there looking
good. So Alabama's the new number one. You know, Nate kept talking to me the other day about this 17-year-old wide receiver they got down there.
Oh, he's a dog. He's a dog. Now,
I know that. I'm not taking that away from him, but he was not the number one recruit in the country.
He that's fine, but he's still 17, balling on
big
22 and 23-year-old.
Jeremiah Smith's highlights.
They're both good.
Yeah,
they're both dogs.
Jeremiah Smith is. We know Jeremiah
talking
Smith.
about
Smith
both of them.
Huh?
I said they need to be talking about both of them.
They do.
Yeah, they do. I know Jeremiah Smith get his talk. They was talking about him earlier today.
I mean, he's a straight dog. You
Yeah,
don't
they both, bro. They both
Ohio
are.
State's wide receiver room and
I
do
didn't know he was so
It's just the fact.
physical like
It's
that.
just the fact that number one, Williams goes to Alabama, but number two, he's 17. He should be in calculus class right now. He shouldn't even be there.
what? Okay, and what school has had the most wide receivers drafted the past 24 years?
I'm not debating that, Al. I'm not saying he shouldn't be talked about. I'm not saying you're wrong.
I'm just saying what we're witnessing Jeremiah Smith do, and I'm going to make a clip out of this. What we're witnessing Jeremiah Smith do has not been done in Columbus. And we're talking about a school that has produced the likes of so many tremendous wide receivers, going back to the great Chris Carter. Even my favorite Ohio State wide receiver of all time, David Boston, didn't start right away as a true freshman. Now, he did by the end of the year. But Marvin Harrison Jr. rode the bench at Ohio State as a freshman because he came in behind Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson and Jackson Smith and Jigba. Like, so for Jeremiah Smith, number one, to start right away in week one is amazing. But to do what he's done and to score in each of their first 4 games is phenomenal.
Yeah. He a dog, and he deserves everything he gets.
He does. He getting his flowers. Trust
And
me. He's getting his.
it's just people are at awe because this 17-year-old is going against a Kirby Smart defense and making him look stupid, and he's 17.
Yeah,
that's.
I remember the last person to make Georgia's defense look stupid was the reigning NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Bro, we had that conversation. Had they finished the job, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But
we really wouldn't. We would have been having this Ryan Days on the hot seat bull crap and all this other stuff. That field goal kicker hadn't choked.
We'd have been in the national championship.
Amen.
Yeah, but CJ Stroud said he still watches highlights of that Georgia game to this day to get him pumped up before the game. And I said, as you should, young man, because you tore a hole in them Bulldogs like no other team has done. Yeah, just saying.
I'm gonna give a quick shout out to Big John too, man. Shout out to your Canes, man. I'm full.
Hey man, I'm gonna give them a little. I'll be hard on them, pause, because they always build me up to let me down. But they winning. They doing a good job. Cam Ward looks like a Heisman finalist. They almost try to give it away to Virginia Tech, but that's the trap game. So whatever, we made it pass. It is what it is.
Tell your boy Michael Irvin to settle down. I don't want.
Ooh, wait. When I say turned up as a person, it's definitely Michael Irvin.
Bro, we know. That's big homie, but we know what that is.
You say it's the coach. You say he got something left over from the A.
That booger sugar. You gotta leave that alone, big dog.
He still got something left over. He
still got I gotta grab.
He still got something in the trophy case.
You got something in the trophy case?
I still got something from when I won, baby.
Oh man, hey, bro, we love you, bro. It's all jokes,
man. Hey, man, we love Michael.
They said that, not me.
Hey, long as they keep winning, I don't care what you got. Long as they keep winning, I don't care.
A few years ago, Steve Smith tried to put him on blast on NFL Network. I don't remember if y'all remember that.
No, I don't.
It was a segment where I had to look it up and send it to y'all. Unc had some white
no
around his lips and came on TV. And Steve Smith ain't got no filter.
None at all.
He said, man, I just want to know what that is around your lips. And I said, oh man, I had a turkey sandwich before the segment. And Steve Smith said, I lost it, bro. I lost it.
Hey, we love you, man. Bro.
Oh man,
that look Steve Smith did, man. Set it off.
He gave him the serious side of that.
Right.
Yeah. Unc out there playmaking in that stuff again.
Yeah.
Man, what?
But Cam Ward, young man, keep doing your thing. You just gotta just keep doing what we're doing, man.
Yeah, man. I'm proud. You know what I say? I want the U to win because I know they won't go to Tuscaloosa if the U is on fire.
I know I ain't trying to do clickbait, but you think Prime going to Florida State next year because they ain't looking
Oh,
good.
it ain't clickbait. It's already in the air. It's already in the air.
I think Prime is going home. Because
we already been through this because right now they look bad.
Bro.
Real bad.
SMU.
Say hi to the people.
Hey, baby. SMU is not a bad football program right now. But
it ain't Pony Express.
Right. Craig James and Dorsett.
Craig James and what's my man Eric Dickerson?
Eric Dickerson. I said Dorsett. Eric Dickerson and Craig James are not walking through the door.
It ain't Pony Express, man.
How do you give up 42 points to SMU and your Florida State? How?
That's bad.
How?
And then you get beat up by Memphis. You get beat up
by Memphis. Goes home though. Two things ain't happening. Number one, Shador ain't going with him.
Of course.
And as much as I love them kids, Shiloh, what up, young Chase? Shiloh has been in college since 2019.
I mean,
move on, bro.
My tight look. One of my tight ends for the youth have been in college for damn near 10 years. The one that transferred from Oregon, he been.
I remember them on him at the beginning of the year. That ain't right neither.
Right, he bruh.
How do you get approved that many times? That's my thing. Like
that's what I'm trying to figure out. How many times do you get approved,
bro? Without going to play baseball, unless you Chris Winkie or whoever, I don't know how you get approved like that.
Drew Henson.
What was the other one that played for Oklahoma State that went to the Cowboys?
And then the quarterback from Oklahoma, he just got approved.
Yeah.
What's the quarterback for Oklahoma that just left Oklahoma? The albino boy. Where he at?
He'll play for Oregon this year.
Is that who playing for Oregon? No.
Dylan Gabriel? No. I think it's Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah,
Dylan Gabriel. That's
hold on. Y'all, the quarterback for Denver Broncos just did a bid. Bo Nix did about a strong 12. Bo Nix.
I don't like none of it, but I'm glad that it's finally over now that they're not giving out them COVID years.
Yeah, man. I think Prime going to Florida State, man, because it's bad. It's really bad. And I know Florida State is my school's rival, but I've always had a healthy respect for them. Like, you can't grow up in our era in the 90s and not like Florida State and not like Peter Ward and not be a fan of Bobby Bowden. You can't. Even if I am a U fan, you cannot respect it. Like, they just.
Oh, and thank you for reminding me of Dub and all our former Bengals. I want to give a shout out to my favorite Bengal of all time, the great Corey Dillon, Cincinnati Bengals all-time leading rusher, number 20 all-time in NFL history, for his induction into the Bengals Ring of Honor and getting his jacket. Now, we didn't get to pick up like we was trying to,
big bro.
But I ain't gonna hold that against you. I know you was busy, man, and we'll get back on trying to promote you to get into Canton where you belong also. But we still love to have you on the show, brother. So,
yeah, we gotta get you on here.
Let's tap in and do it. But him and Big Willie both deserve it. And shout out to the other inductee, former two-time All-Pro nose tackle, Tim Crumry. Deserved it also. Led the Bengals to the Super Bowl in 1988. Probably would have won that game if we had Tim Crumry and he didn't shatter his leg second series of the Super Bowl. You know the luck we have when we get in big games in Cincinnati. But yeah, shout out to Tim Crumry and Corey Dillon for getting in. So other than that, Nate, we getting those Notorious B.I.G. Tims?
Man, I'm trying to find them. I heard they only got black left. They ain't got the weak.
You ain't even messaged me back when I hit you up about them.
Yeah, I meant to. It slipped my mind because you know why. But
they got them at Champs right now.
Hey, do they got the weak ones though?
That's cool on Tim's. But Al, me and Al had this conversation. I don't go to too many Ohio State things, but I said I got a bucket list thing. I want to start going to all the big time games of my childhood. So I'm waiting on Al to tell me whether he going to this Michigan Ohio State game.
Ooh, that's big time. That is big time. It's at the shoe, ain't it?
I know, yes, it is at Ohio Stadium. I know that's pushing it, but you got to give brothers time to figure out exactly what's going on.
Right, because right now I could do the 500 when it start getting 2 bands and all that. You know, I
know I can't do that. I'm getting married. It's over. I can't do that.
Man, it's $750 to sit where I want to sit for that game.
Oh man,
I can do it. I can do the $750. I'm not doing $1,200, $1,500, $2,000, but I can do the $750.
I love my Bucks, man, but pay $1,200.
Harmony, stop trying to make an appearance on here.
Yeah, so we'll talk, man.
All right.
But I think that's all for this episode. I want to remind everybody, if you weren't able to check the live stream, please check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music. We are on all 4 of the top tier audio platforms for listening. So go there. Remember to follow us on Instagram and Twitter, or X as they call it now, and Facebook. I'm trying to petition Facebook to get the original Factual Opinions Facebook page back where we have all our followers and stuff that was built up since 2018. That would be really nice to get that back. So hopefully that happens.
Man, give us our page back.
Sponsorship, Bex Auto Group checks out the page a lot, man. Let's talk. Let's do something. I can get on there like Gilly was with Danny's Auto in Philadelphia. If you
right.
Go to Danny's Auto. So, again, I want to thank everybody who tuned in. Brother Rod, Cal, Brother Dewan, everybody else who will after the fact, like Brother Triggs and the rest of them. Reem, shout out to Cousin Bernard down there in Birmingham. I know he's happy right now after the tide rolled through Georgia like that.
Right.
Yeah, so we love y'all.
He's still on the high road about that one.
Yeah. He ain't even text me. That's how I know he on the high road. Bernard done lit up a cigar down there.
Still on the shine. Still on the shine.
Got his feet kicked up. Yeah, he's living good right now. So our Buckeye fans too living good right now. Although we haven't really played anybody of substance, this Iowa game this weekend will be a nice.
It'll be a test.
That running back they got is tough. Number 2,
he's tough.
Iowa's
top 5 in the country right now.
Iowa's tough. The way they play, I don't care what their record is. They trick you into playing their style of football. It's always a long game.
Mm-hmm.
So, looking forward to this weekend. Looking forward to my Schroeder Jaguars getting back on track. Y'all got anything else?
Nah, bro.
Say hi, Harmony.
Hi.
And Harmony saying hi to you today.
Say hi. They talking to you.
And Chase is like, "What's going on?"
Right.
He just had a.
They wouldn't let me be, y'all. They wouldn't let me be. My bad.
Well, Chase just had a birthday, if I'm not mistaken. How?
Chase, come here.
What?
Hurry up.
Who moved this?
He's huge, y'all. I need y'all to donate to my funds. Because we about $1,000. We looking for a Chase sponsorship, y'all.
Chase sponsorship. How old are you now, Chase?
9.
9.
Yeah, but I'm tall, like I'm 10, maybe 12.
Right. I feel you, B dog.
So 5.
I feel you.
Yes, you're still 5.
Now, Harmony's still 5.
Right.
We're gonna let Brother Nate go. The world go. We're happy y'all tap back in. Y'all will see us soon again. And as usual, we'll try and do it better the next time.
Yes, sir.
Sure.